what we're going to be doing is first teaching our dogs how to do a sit to heel. What that means is we want our dogs, when they're on leash, to understand that this is a team sport. So when I start walking, my leash dog should come with me. When I stop walking, my dog should stop too and should offer me a nice polite sit. It's a bit of a red light, green light game. I move, you move, I stop, you stop, sit, look at me, wait for next feedback, whatever it is we're going to be doing next. So we're going to teach our dogs first how to do this. This is a lovely game for leash walking, just a basic leash walking exercise that all dogs should know how to do. So I'm going to walk you through the process of teaching that. And then this is the pattern that we actually use for our dogs when they are seeing distractions out on the leash. So what I've got is just a standard leash, regular old leash here. I'm going to hook to my dog's collar. I am using a clicker for this. You do not have to use a clicker, but we do need to use some kind of a marker to communicate effectively with our dogs. So a marker can be a clicker, or you could use the word yes or the word nice, good, any sort of one syllable, quick, easy word that you want, that we're going to use that word to tell our dogs when they've done the right behavior. So as soon as he sits, that would be a yes, or a click in this case. For the video, I'll probably do both a click and a yes, so you can kind of hear what both of those markers would look like and kind of how we use those. So we need to have that marker ready in some way, shape, or form, be it a clicker, be it our voice. We need to have some little kibbles or treats with us. So I have my treat pouch, you guys can see right here, fully loaded. I've got my leash. I take my leash, I'm going to put it over one of my hands here, and the other end is going to be attached to my dog. If I'm using a clicker, I will hold that clicker in the same hand that has the leash. I'll often do it kind of like this. Other end's attached to my dog, right? And off I go. I'm able to click, dole out treats whenever I want to. Now, what I'm going to do is start walking, and I'm going to take 1 or 2 steps with Tank. And then as I come to a stop, you're going to see that I come down with a treat in my hand. And as I'm walking, I'm going to take a couple of steps. 1, 2. As I stop walking, I've got a treat ready in my hand, and I'm going to bring that treat down to Tank's nose so that it's a little bit of a stop sign. And as I stop moving and stand up nice and tall and kind of look at him, it's going to drag him into a little bit of a sit position. Then I'm going to click and I'm going to give him a treat. So without the dog first, I'm going to show you what that looks like. So let's see. You can see my click hand. Imagine I have a dog next to me, right? Off I go. 1 step, 2 step. I'm ready to stop. So here comes my treat right in front of my dog to stop them. I lift it up into that position that brings their head up and sort of lures them towards a sit. Click when their butt hits the sit, and now I can dole out a treat. And off I go again. And I'm going to... Okay, so. So, I've got my food lure ready to go here. And I can lure my Tanky boy into position next to me. Nice job. Now, I don't care too much in the beginning what position the dog is in, right? If he's facing the exact same position as me or if he's kicked out to the side a little bit. But as long as I've got him kind of generally heading in the same direction that I am. So, as I start walking, off we go. Come on, buddy. I'm ready to stop, so I bring that treat down, gives him that stop sign, lifts him up, click and treat. Good boy. Go fine. Good boy. Nice job. Ready? Up we go. Good boy. Ready? There you go. Good job. So very easily and very quickly, we get a dog who starts to get nice, smooth patterns of starting and stopping with us. So now let's see how Tanky does if we are not using our food lure. So if I'm just going to start and stop this time and see if he figures out that that's what I'm looking for him to do, and that's what's going to be rewarded for him. You ready? Let's go. Off we go. Come on over here. If your dog doesn't sit, give him a second. Still don't sit. Keep on walking. Ready? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Try it again. Let's see how he does this time. Much better, right? So he got a little distracted last time. That's okay. Good boy. You ready? Let's go. Nice job. Let's go. Good job. Ready? Nice. Very good. Yes, good boy. Okay. Nice. Ready? Good thing. One thing you might notice while I'm doing this exercise is I give Tank a release cue when we're done. So he's landed in his default sit, click and treat. When I'm ready to move on, okay, I'm telling him. Ready? Okay. Ready? Okay. Good job. Very good. Go for it. So I use my body in that pattern, get a nice polite sit, little eye contact, click and treat, good boy. And then I release him and let him know we're going to be walking off together, right? This is a group exercise. So that release is an important part of this pattern because what eventually our dogs are going to do is learn that when there's a distraction present, they're going to move into this sitting position. They're going to observe that dog or person walking by. They'll get their clicks and treats. When the coast is clear, you'll tell them, well, look, there goes that dog. Ready? Now it's ready to go. All right, off we go. Okay, and then we'll move on together. Good boy. Nice job. We start with our food lure and our body mechanics nice and cleanly, moving our dogs into that sit next to us. Good boy. And then we move on to the no food lure, but we still reward. So Tank is still getting his click and treat, even though he's not seeing that food treat, getting him to stop his forward momentum. He's still being rewarded when he makes the right choice. So watch for a minute while we move around the yard over here and see if we can't get a few more of these. Ready? Let's go. Up we go. Come on, buddy. Good job, ready? Lovely job. Good boy. Okay. Up we go. Come on, dog. What a good boy. Yes, good job. Ready? Okay, let's go. Good boy. Ready? So if your dog gets confused or distracted, don't worry about it. Ignore him. Move on off again. Yes, the only way to get that treat, okay, is a polite sit. Good boy. Yes, good job. Once your dog understands the basic default sit with a food lure and then without a food lure, the next step is getting it so the dog is nice and smooth and really good at this behavior. So for that part, what we're going to do is start to ramp up the speed, move a little bit faster. So I move quickly with Tank and then I'm going to stop. Reward him if he's able to sit. Then we move off quickly again. Stop, start, changing directions and moving around. Turning this into a fun game for our dog where they learn that the goal is keeping up with us, moving with us, landing in that sit. Good job. Moving on again. Are you ready to go? Nice job, Tank. Yes, good boy. Ready? Okay, let's go. Good job. This way. Yes, good boy. Nice job. Okay. Come on, baby. This way. Yes, good boy. Very good. Start with the basics, build up to our pattern there, reduce our food lure, and then start to really generalize it, turn this into a solid behavior by adding more speed and momentum and movement, and then ultimately practicing it in some different environments as well before we introduce any other distractions. So this would be the point where when you're out for your leash walks with your dog, every few steps we should be stopping. Do we get a default sit? Good job. Click, treat, release. Make this a really common, easy part of their daily leash walk so that they understand that this is a leash walking exercise and that it's normal to have to do this in a leash walking scenario. So that when we start to introduce those distractions, the only thing that should be new to the dog is the presence of the distraction. Nothing else about the exercise should be new.